background back there, by the way, just because, like Kitty and I were talking, Linda, I think you and I, when we met a month ago, and Kitty and I were talking, we've spent quite a bit of time in London, and we just freaking love that city. And I know you guys aren't native UK folks, but what a great place to hang out, right?
It is when you can, but when you can't, it's just very expensive.
Yeah. Well, that's the truth. When we go over there and travel, we have 5 kids. So when we go over there and travel, like the amount of just money we spend in an hour, every freaking hour in London is mind-boggling. I mean, you want to go just grab a snack or a dinner or whatever. But anyway, your location's beautiful.
Let's go.
All right, y'all both lean to the side so people can see your view from your apartment. Like lean out so we can see. That'll get the lighting. Look at that, guys. They're on the Thames River, and that is the skyline of London right behind them. Amazing. Okay. Incredible. Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. So here's how we do this. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm seeing you guys jump in. It's good to see everybody. Here's how we do this, Kitty and Leonard, and thanks for lending us your expertise. So we do live Q&A in our group. Anybody can ask questions, and we'll pop questions up on the screen. So ultimately, though, a lot of this obviously use CRMs. If we have a coaching service, a done-for-you service, we use CRMs for ourselves. We recommend CRMs to our clients. There's so many CRMs, and most of us I don't know if you hear this a lot. I know you guys do because y'all are experts in the CRM world. Most of us hate the CRM we have, and we think somebody else's CRM is better. And then when we get to that CRM, we're like, oh my gosh, I hate this too. Right?
Isn't it just like relationship experience?
Yes.
It's like you think that girl or guy is just much better, but like when you get into actually getting know that person, you realize that they have a different kind of problem.
Same problems or different ones.
And you don't deal with those.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna quit dating altogether. No more relationships.
No more CRMs, no more dating. That's done. I'm done.
It's a problem. Right, once you cannot get anywhere now.
Yeah. There's nothing perfect out there, right? All right, so let's talk CRMs just in general for a minute, and then let's get into y'all take it where you want. And of course, anybody watching, you're welcome to ask questions, as everybody knows. Hey, Chris, man, great to see you. So another Chris, not me. He's just jumping in here. So let's talk CRMs. And the real point of this is making these things a profit center. It's not just another thing to have to do after you get off of a sales call or a prospecting opportunity. It's for a reason. It makes money if you do it right. So walk us through the point of this and how to actually use a CRM to our benefit financially.
Right. Yeah. Just okay, who starts?
Go for it. Yeah. Okay.
So the thing is, I'm the more talkative one. He is the more geeky one. So, So with CRMs, it's very important that you have a clean data in there. And if you don't maintain a clean data in your systems, then that's a problem. So you will get problems. But if you know how to do it the right way, fast way, so you set up everything according to your business. So when you have something to automate it. But if you don't have something to automate, don't try to do that. If you don't have the processes set up, don't try to make it up because it won't work. So when you have a process, you have to understand what's going on in your business. You will have an understanding that, okay, these are the steps, what every lead is taking. What is my my customers' ideal way of going through my offers? Then what set the automations up accordingly, and the CRM must have to contain clean and clear data, and that's where probably the biggest problem is in most cases, that they have a mess.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just kind of say, just to pull out what I just heard, because I freaking love what you just said. In our group, we talk a lot about automating the organic. So if the organic process is working, if you're getting leads, you're getting sales calls, you're enrolling people in your program or whatever you use your CRM for, that process that's proven organically is what you automate, that you build a system based on what's working, as opposed to, and I think you said this really clearly, I appreciate that, as opposed to getting a new CRM and you're like, look at all these templates they have for me. I'm going to build out 5 email sequences and all this landing page. And all of a sudden, like a month later, you're still building crap out and none of it works. And it's not even relevant to your business.
Yep.
And then you will hate it because it's nothing to do with your business. You just wasted your time, your energy. It's a mess what you put in. It's a mess what you get out. And you're losing money and time at the same time, instead of the original purpose of the whole system is to make more money and save more time, right?
Absolutely.
So just look at the it's a very easy process to go through. Actually, you have to identify what are the things that what do you have any repetitive tasks in your business. If you have any, identify how, time. You can do a time study, for example. That's highly recommended, I think, in case if you want to automate stuff or you want to outsource stuff. So you do a time study, you understand that, okay, this is how much I do this task every day or every week, how often, or my team. And then put against that the hourly rate. Mm-hmm. So how much money you earn, just check out your earnings per month or per year, and count your hourly earnings. And then you will see the numbers. Actually, we have a calculator for that, but it's very simple to do. It's like you put in your data. This is how much time I spend on it. This is how often I do it. This is how much I would earn per hour. And this is the money I'm losing on this task. So then you can think about it. Oh, should I outsource this, or can I outsource this, or can I automate this? And then you start to think about the next steps, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where we start.
And I would suggest, if you can outsource and automate, choose the automation, because it's less point of failure. Because when somebody's doing it, they could be mistakes. Of course, with automation, you have to test it, but still, in the longer run, you will get it, I think, cheaper, because it's automated and it works smoothly. So you don't have to deal with people issues, which we always know, especially nowadays.
You don't deal with people. I love that.
You have relationship issues in your life. You have relationship issues with your apps and your systems. You don't want to have another with an outsourced project. If you could have automated it with your existing issue.
I love that. Okay, so the time study thing, man, y'all are just hitting some great points. We recommend time studies as well. We do it. I always tell people to do a 2-week time study, because sometimes, I don't know, how long do y'all say? 1 week, 2 weeks?
2 weeks, I agree, because 1 week is rather an example. How do you say it? Exemplary.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks can give you just like, okay, I had this kind of week, and then you have that kind of week. But if you want to go very crazy about it, do a 1 month.
Okay, I love it. I it just struck me. You and I am horrible at I'm stumbling on words here. I'm horrible at finding the right big word, like exemplary. And I was just thinking the irony of the people. We have a lot of people from London and the UK in our mastermind and in this Facebook group, and they're probably listening to both of us. A classic American just butchering the English language. And you guys, you're awesome, freaking genius. Y'all are Hungarian, right?
Yes, we are Hungarian.
Yeah.
Or English.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's great.
We have butchers on our ways.
But you're sitting in London. We're talking in London, and we're both just destroying their English. I love that. Sorry, all you Londoners.
Yeah.
Excuse us, your mother.
All my friends from the UK make fun of my non-English as well. Okay, so getting that time study locked in for 2 weeks and finding the stuff that you're wasting time on, or where you're spending a lot of those minutes that are repetitive tasks. Yes. You can automate those things. And I love how you're tying that in with your value per hour or per minute. For you folks who don't know quite how to sort that out, you just simply take a nice average number of 2,000 hours. Most people work about 2,000 hours in a full-time gig per year. So look at last year's income, or the average year's income, and divide that by 2,000, and that's how much you make per hour. Divide that again by 60, and that's how much you make per minute, if you want to make it simple. And so all the time you're wasting in these tasks that you see showing up on your time study for 2 weeks, kind of average out, you're like, oh my gosh, I spent 4 hours last week just sending the same freaking basically email over and over and over to all these prospects. Yeah, that's real money. It's cheaper to hire a piece of software to do that for you.
Yes.
Definitely.
So Kitty and Leonard, then how do you like talk software itself, like geek out on which CRMs are best right now?
It depends on the purpose.
Oh, come on. I want a real answer.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Everyone has preferences. We will give you what we love and what we prefer and why we do that. But also it's very important to understand the business itself, because some businesses are not ready for apps. The most simple CRM is a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet. That's a CRM, because actually you want to keep your clients' data and your leads data in a very nice organized way. If you are good with that, do it in a CRM or on a piece of paper. If you will have 10 clients per year, that works for you. You are done. You don't have to do, you don't need that crazy of a CRM. You need an email automation without too much of the behind data, but that's not what we prefer to do. And always think about that the CRM that you choose has to be scalable. So it has to be able to scale with your business, together with your business, and it should be able to start small while you are small and you have not as complicated tasks or things to automate or think about, but still it has captured the data, the lead source, so you can get out of crazy, or not as crazy, but some level of data, and then it can scale with your business. And also what's important is that it has to be goal oriented. So if you don't have goals, so if your CRM is not capable of using goals, then that's a very, very red light in there. What you can see, because
let's give an example. So I think a good example for goal orientation is to have an abandoned cart automation, and that somebody doesn't purchase your product, you send them, let's say, 3 emails to remind them to go back. And if somebody purchases after the first or second email, you don't want to annoy them with the third one. So that's why when the goal kicks in and finishes that automation, so they won't get the third email. And few CRMs know that, and not all of them. And that's why when you can do this kind of higher level automation, that becomes a much better user experience, and they don't be annoyed by getting extra emails. So that's what you.
All right. This is really good information. I like this, the things that are important to watch for. And I'm assuming, like, do most of them link with like we use Google Drive, or ClickFunnels or WordPress, or
integrations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most of them do the main stuff and connect to the main companies, right?
Yeah. If you want to go into details, and I would say, which one would I recommend? I would say
give me the top. Which 2 or 3? Which top 2 or 3 do you think are like, these are the easiest ones, the best ones to get started with right now?
So first and foremost, choose one that's highly reputable and well known at the market, because nowadays every week you see a new one popping up, and who knows that will be there in maybe 1 or 2 years when you hold all your most important data. So I would go with first what we like is ActiveCampaign. And if you outgrown into a higher business, then Infusionsoft, or nowadays they call it Keep, it's a really good choice as well.
Really? Okay, so by the way, for all you folks jumping in here, Leonard and Kitty are CRM experts. This is what they do. And we all have our love-hate relationships with CRMs. It's just like,
we get that.
Like Kitty said earlier, it's relationships. You find the flaws in the person you're dating today, and you think the next person's going to be better, but they're not perfect. Nobody is. So we've used ActiveCampaign personally in our agency, ActiveCampaign, and we currently use Infusionsoft. Hi, CN, welcome. Anybody with questions, feel free to ask. You got these for free right now. Yeah, we use Infusionsoft. We call it Confusionsoft.
They do that since
Yeah.
forever. Actually,
Let me tell
one
you
of the
my-
competitors named it that way too.
Yeah.
And
But you love
remember,
it. Like, should we stay with it? Or are we just not? Maybe we need to lean in on you guys and just have you take a peek in there and make sure we're doing it right. It's
I
just
think it's confusing
happy to
because
do
the
that.
people who built it, it's not for, I think, average person. So let me give my background. I am a CRM developer and I started with Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So if you see that Infusionsoft is confusing, that's only just 5 or 10% what Microsoft can do for you. And I developed that one. So I built a highly customized Microsoft CRM system for a fintech company, and I done thousands of lines of code. Compared to that one, Infusionsoft, for me, it was easy, and I learned it in a couple of weeks. So that's why I said depends on who is using it and what was the purpose of it. So I understand and I see your point, because when I'm coming from active campaign perspective, it is confusing. But if you strip it down and you know how to use it and what's the purpose of it, it won't be confusing.
so it's a stronger. Is it a stronger engine, a stronger machine?
Yeah.
Which feeds at it? I see. Yeah.
it's a
So-
data-driven
yeah.
machine. Actually, not Active Campaign is not as data-driven as Infusionsoft, and you can set up so beautiful automation sequences in Infusionsoft, what you cannot do in even in Active Campaign. So it's beautiful, even in my opinion, even though I'm not a geek, but he made me a little bit geeky.
So I think 2 more examples. So because all the purchase data goes inside of Infusionsoft, then you will know who purchased what and what's their lifetime value as well. So you can market to those ones, because your best customers are those ones who already purchased something from you, and you don't have to find them again.
Yeah.
You don't have those kind of data in Active Campaign or the lower versions of nowadays CRMs like MailChimp or Aweber. You can connect with integrations with, of course, different kind of apps and shopping carts, but still, when you have the shopping details sitting outside and the CRM data different, then you can make it work together, but still, to trigger those kind of automations, it requires the next level of integration and automation. And Infusionsoft has that all built inside. Or another good thing that you can use it, and not a lot of people do, is track your lead sources and where they are coming from and how much do they value. So,
and for example, the recency, the frequency, the value, what they spend. So if you can track these, that's invaluable information for every business, actually. And that's what you can also set up, for example, in Infusionsoft. But what I'd like to point out, for example, in email automation, what makes my brain just blowing, like, I don't know what they did. Here it is. When what I see that, I set up your automation, or this app is capable of doing automation, and no, scheduling emails is scheduling emails, but email automation is coming with a logic, it's coming with a goal in place. So you have an what if scenario. What if they say yes? What if they say no? What if they don't open? What if they don't answer? So when you set up these logic, that's what we call automation, and not scheduling emails, because those are just scheduling emails. Those are very important things to do. That's not what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, here's somebody. Let's see. This is Doug. Good to see you, Doug, by the way. I'm also well versed in Infusionsoft, although not on the scale of Infusionsoft. I love Go High Level, especially as an agency. It has most everything non-e-commerce client would need. Do you guys get into Go High Level at all?
Yeah, I've seen Go High Level. I haven't used it that much. Yeah. It looks nice. I see that they do a lot of stuff. My only concern at the moment, I've seen that they are a new company on the market, and I feel that a few other companies using the same backend. That means if you log in, it looks the same, everything.
Yeah.
And I feel that somebody develops, but I'm not sure who does that. I don't have the
contact details.
contact details. and I think they try to do a little bit too much. So if you, they have a email marketing part, but it's like it is mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it's just scheduling emails. So you send out a couple of emails and that's it. So you cannot add what I've seen so far was three of logic inside of that one. So it's good for start, but if you want some kind of, so what's the problem when you start using a CRM? You can start with the cheaper versions, of course, or especially not with Infusionsoft. And after that, when your business goes between 6 figures and close to 7 figures, then you have to think about, okay, what's my next level? And that's why we have these kind of levels of, I would say, CRMs. Mm-hmm. So that's why when big companies, corporates choose Salesforce or I would say Microsoft, they don't go with a smaller one, MailChimp, because it's not for their purpose.
And that's one of the reasons we swapped to Infusionsoft, even though we're still in the learning curve. We have two businesses, a mastermind and a done-for-you digital agency, and it grew to a point where the simpler ones we were using just couldn't keep up. And I'm extremely data-driven as a leader of my company. I'm constantly looking at data. I think for all of us in this community, as the founders, leaders, CEOs, bosses, whatever we want to call ourselves, our job is not to do every little task. Our job is to hire people who are experts, outsource, whatever. Your highest value is making a small number of very well-informed, good decisions each day. So my highest value, I know in my organization, is not how many times can I click a button or how many people can I reach out to. It is finding someone else who can help me with that or automating it or whatever, and then making a very few number of very high quality decisions to build strategy and bring the right stuff and make the right changes. And that's what data gives me, is a chance to really know that I'm making a well-informed decision. They're not all perfect, but the more information I got, the better. That is one thing I like about Infusionsoft. It's complicated for my team to learn it. All I do is enter notes into it. I don't actually know how to build it, but they've had more complications learning it. But I know it gives us the data.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so but on that note, truly, Lucy, who runs all things Elite Agency, she's the one who helps run this community that we're all part of right here. Lucy is amazing. She runs all things on that side, and her team are incredible. Can she jump on a call with you guys, or can we buy an hour of your time or something where y'all could log into our CRM and be like, okay, you're screwing this up, you're doing this great, here's where you're gonna could you do that kind of thing?
Yes, we can do an audit, absolutely. So we can do a short audit, we can do a proper big audit. So obviously when we have a prospect, or we are starting working with someone, the first thing is that they share their screen with us and we see what's in there. It's like, open up the Pandora's box, what's in there?
Yeah.
And then
where's the money?
Yeah, it's like I'm going to the gym and the coach is like, all right, now stand on the scale. And I'm like, no, dude, how many push-ups do you do? I'm not going to tell you that. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we do, is we have to see what's in there, and then that's where we start from, just to see that, okay, and we have to understand the business as well, where they are at, what they want to achieve, what are the problems, what they are already facing, what is challenging for them to use their actual app. Because it's kind of also, when you change from a platform to another platform, what you have to think about, it's change management as well. So you have to have your full team to just go through the processes, just I reject this, I cannot accept this, and then, I hate it, I don't want to do this, okay, I have to do it, and then get into the working phase. Yeah. And make it as less painful as possible, but also we have to understand because they are using the system. Mm-hmm. So those are the people who use the system. So we have to understand their processes as well, and help them to make sure that we are here and the app is here for you to make your life easier. And it will be great, but of course it's different. And everything what's different is coming with it, with this change management as well. It's like, oh my gosh, it's another headache.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I learned a long time ago to let my team members, I think the small but quality decisions I can make are picking a good team member who I can trust, and then letting them pick the systems that they want to run. So often as an entrepreneur, I think we get in the way of our teams, and I got this, I saw this awesome Facebook ad for Monday.com. We're switching to Monday.com. Like, oh my gosh, no. Like,
It's Tuesday. Why do you switch to Monday?
Pat says, oh, Pat, great to see you, Pat. Not quite ready for this, but definitely keep the info in mind. Yeah, Pat, you're at that stage where you're going to be needing a CRM soon. For early on, we got to go here in a second. So anybody has any more questions, feel free to ask. We used just a Google Sheet for a spreadsheet for quite a while. But then we got to a point where we had all these data points, like first interaction, they entered this group, we had this message, then we had a meeting, then we sent out 2 emails, and all of a sudden we got like, you know how when the spreadsheet goes from A to Z at the top, and then you get into like double numbers? Yeah. Yeah. We were way into the double numbers. I was like, oh my gosh, this is impossible. And that's when we decided,
Yes, and getting, any business can lose lots of money just because of forgetting to call someone up to get something done. But if those things, you get reminders, another team member gets a reminder as well, just in case, because that person's weakness is this.
Yeah, exactly.
The assistant gets a reminder as well. That's also helpful.
There's Chris Anderson. Good to see you, man. Chris is a podcast expert. If you're anybody watching, if you're figuring out podcasting and monetizing a podcast, Chris is your guy. Anyway, yeah, Chris, just even basic spreadsheets, right? It's that data, right? We just got to have data. Mm-hmm.
If you don't need that, you are fine with Google Sheets. Don't make any changes until you don't have to.
Yeah.
If whatever system works for you, stick to it.
Just know your data.
Yep.
Yes, that's it. That's what matters.
Yeah. And then Chatelle, hey, Chatelle's awesome too. Chatelle is really cool too. She's in our community. She teaches women who are looking to leave their 9-to-5 gig how to make that entrepreneurial jump and like set up the business and get it structured and actually have the guts and the strategy to make it happen. Super cool. Chatelle, anyway, I haven't signed up for a CRM yet, but I do use a CRM and Google, of course, which has been working this far. Yeah. You use CMS, and
WordPress, usually WordPress.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great.
Usually WordPress or something.
Yeah. But it gathers the data and it keeps it in a spot. I mean, that's the goal. And then when you're ready to swap, you swap.
When you are not ready, don't do. I mean, it's not about. Yeah. So if you have a system that works for you, you don't need to look at CRMs. Don't waste your time with that, right?
He says Honeybook. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's right. But bottom line is use the one you're going to use, right? It's like all of us at the beginning of the year, we're all going to eat healthier. The diet you do or the exercise you do is the right one, not the one you hope to do, because that's the one we never get to. It's the one we do, right? And same with just keep the data and you can move to a fancy CRM.
Yeah.
And also what I found is very exciting that recently I realized that some of these CRMs, if they are very good, those are built by geeks who know their stuff so freaking well, and they want to squash everything into that same app, but that's extremely not user-friendly. And that's why we human beings, we suffer from actually acting in those geeky CRMs, but those are actually the good ones, unfortunately. And Lénárd is also consulting with some CRM developing CRM companies, just to help them to look and feel better and work properly. So he does that too, and that's what I see recently very often. Just like, okay, I do understand this. So geeks build it for geeks because they cannot think any other ways, and then they need someone who is, a translator it's usually either me or him, because the good thing about Lénárd that even though he's a geek, he speaks human. So, so yeah, that's
so true. We got our geeks, right? We got to have our geeks. Our geeks are like saving the world somehow.
but not
Okay.
humanity.
Cool. Well, guys, awesome to have you. I just dropped your links to y'all's Facebook. That was so Southern American right there, y'all. Totally messing with our proper English today. I just dropped your links to your names and your Facebook profiles in the section up here above the video, so people can find you. Guys, if you need CRM help, I can't overstate this. Hire an expert, like, to just either sit down with you, like these two will sit down with you for a little bit on a Zoom call and hear about your business and help you make an intelligent decision on which CRM you hire. Or if you already got a CRM and you're thinking about, just getting it cleaned up, they can help you audit that. It is worth 30 minutes or an hour of your time and a few bucks to hang out with somebody who can save you literally dozens of hours watching YouTube videos and tutorials on how to do something that will just make you mad. Yeah. Kitty, Lénárd, thank you.
We thank you.
It was amazing.
Great
Thank
to see you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a great day in London.
Thank you.
Take care.